And if I get another false allegation and you do nothing, I'm shocked. I'm appalled at you. I sit here day after day with this false allegation just machine. I've never been treated like this. You talk about professionalism every week. Professionalism is lacking with one lawyer here.
Your Honor, could we strike the hominem attack?
No, I'm speaking.
Really, could we strike that?
Okay, hey, everybody, calm down. Everybody, both of you, please be seated.
Judge, I'm not
Both
done.
of you, please be seated.
You have to do something.
The Young Thug RICO trial has been crazy from the jump, but now it's so wild that even lawyers are getting arrested. And today we're breaking the whole situation down. There's been a lot going on with the Young Thug trial, but everything went to a new level when Lil Woody was brought in to testify against Thug. Lil Woody took a deal where he would get immunity in exchange for telling everyone what he knew about Young Thug and YSL. Lil Woody's testimony has been hyped up as one of the most important pieces of the case for the prosecution. Ever since the trial started, they've been calling him one of Thug's shooters and said that he was involved with the murder of Young Thug's op, Big Nut, back in 2015. So when Lil Woody was set to take the stand 8 months after the trial started, everyone was ready for him to start dropping bombs. But when he showed up to court, nobody expected what actually happened. As soon as the prosecution tried to question Woody, he made it clear he wasn't going to work with them. The prosecutors asked how old he was, and Woody just told them,
Grown.
The lawyers tried to press him on it and asked Woody what his actual age was, and that's when he decided to plead the fifth.
Okay, what does grown mean?
I'm an adult.
Okay. And when you say you're an adult, what number in years are you?
I plead the fifth.
Pleading the fifth basically means that you don't have to answer any questions that can get you in trouble with the law. Usually it's not an issue for someone like Lil Woody to plead the fifth, but since he already had a deal that gave him immunity, Lil Woody gave up his right to plead the fifth. As soon as Lil Woody refused to answer the question about his age, the judge asked the jury to leave the room and then told Lil Woody that he was being held in contempt and was going to jail. Right after it went down, Lil Woody hopped on Instagram and said he was good and that this was going to be the last time he ever went to jail. The drama didn't end there though. After Lil Woody was taken out by cops, Young Thug's lawyer Brian Steele came up and asked for a mistrial. According to Brian Steele, the state knew that Lil Woody was going to plead the fifth and wouldn't actually testify. Brian Steele told the judge that the situation was going to hurt Young Thug's case, and since the state allegedly knew what was going to go down, the whole thing should be called a mistrial.
My point is, if this honorable court finds that the state knew or had reason to believe that he was going to do this in front of a jury, that his response was going to be, I'm invoking the Fifth Amendment, then Your Honor, yes, I adopt what you said. That's wrong of a party, and I'm moving for a mistrial.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right, sir. Thank you. All right.
The judge claimed that nobody knew Lil Woody was going to plead the fifth, but now the situation is starting to look real sketchy. George Cheedy is a reporter from Atlanta who's been following Young Thug's case from the start. He was in the courtroom while the Lil Woody situation was going down, and George Cheedy claims that 2 sheriff's deputies told him not to record anything if Lil Woody got arrested in court. What makes everything really suspicious is that nobody had any reason to think that Lil Woody would be arrested before he sat down to testify. According to the judge and the prosecutors, they didn't know Lil Woody was going to plead the fifth. But if the deputies in the courtroom knew something was about to go down, the judge probably would have known too. Nobody on the outside thought Lil Woody's testimony was going to go down like that, but what happened next was even crazier. After the Lil Woody situation was handled, the state prosecutor accused Brian Steele of handing over files that had been changed. There's no evidence to prove that actually happened though, and nobody expected what was about to go down. Brian Steele clapped back hard and started yelling about the accusations the state was making against him.
And if I get another false allegation and you do nothing, I'm shocked. I'm appalled at you. I sit here day after day with this false allegation just machine. I gave the state everything.
The situation was getting really heated, but then the judge stepped in and made everyone sit down again. Brian Steele was already pressed about how the whole case was being handled. The trial had already been going on for 8 months at that point, and Thug's lawyer Brian Steele thought they needed to declare a mistrial and start the whole case over again. The judge denied Brian Steele's motion for a mistrial though, and Lil Woody came back to court after the weekend was over and took the stand again. He decided not to plead the fifth this time, but he was still trying his hardest to play dumb and not really answer the prosecutor's questions. Even when she asked him simple questions like what his brother's names are, Lil Woody looked annoyed and took forever to respond.
Trey, not boss.
Say that one more time. You said it's fast.
Nato, Trey's boss.
Nato, Trez, and Boss. Okay.
The drama around Lil Woody still wasn't over yet. It turns out that the judge and the prosecutors had a private meeting with Lil Woody and didn't tell Young Thug's lawyer Brian Still about it. This kind of meeting without one side of the trial in the room is called ex parte, and Brian Still started pressing the judge about what happened. Having an ex parte meeting doesn't mean something shady is going down, but Brian Still accused the state and the judge of trying to intimidate Lil Woody into testifying. Brian Still brought it all up to the judge and wanted answers about why he wasn't involved with the meeting.
District attorney or district attorneys from the DA's office, as well as investigators, sheriff deputies, Mr. Copeland and his counsel met together. None of the defense team, to my knowledge, was aware that this was going on.
But the judge got pressed and wouldn't talk about it. All the judge wanted to know is how Brian Still even found out about the meeting, but Brian Still wouldn't give up his sources. The judge threatened to hold Brian Still in contempt if he didn't tell him how he found out about the meeting, but Brian Still held his ground and wouldn't say anything.
And you haven't answered my question yet.
I'm not
How
going
did
to
you
answer that question.
You're not?
No.
That's when the situation took another crazy turn. The judge actually had Brian Still arrested and sentenced him to 20 days in jail.
I'm going to order that you be taken into custody, incarcerated at Fulton County Jail for no more than 20 days for this contempt.
Brian Still's sentence only had to be served on the weekends though, so during the week, he would be out of jail and could still work on the trial. Brian Still knew that getting held in contempt was going to hurt the case, but he asked if he could be held in the same jail as Young Thug so they could talk about the case while both of them are locked up.
I'd ask that I can be with Mr. Williams and we work on our case all weekend, for all those weekends. Otherwise, I can't prepare.
After the situation went down, other lawyers hopped on social media and said that Brian Still getting taken into custody like that should make the whole case end in a mistrial. What's really crazy about the situation is that the judge didn't want to talk about the private meeting he had with Lil Woody and the prosecutors at all though. All the judge was worried about was figuring out how Brian Still knew about the meeting with Woody, and now the judge is threatening to throw even more lawyers in jail over the situation. The judge is having another meeting with the state prosecutors, Lil Woody, and Lil Woody's ex-lawyer about the situation. And according to reports, he's threatening to hold all of them in contempt if he finds out that they leaked the info about the other meeting to Brian Still. The way the judge is handling the case is wild, and a Georgia lawyer named Andrew Fleischman said that now, even if Young Thug gets convicted, the defense could have a good chance of getting the ruling overturned. According to Andrew Fleischman, everyone in the Georgia legal community is shocked at what the judge is doing. Another defense lawyer named Doug Weinstein, who's in the trial, filed a motion to have the judge removed from the case. What's crazy about it though is that the judge is the one who makes that decision, and he denied the motion immediately. Weinstein asked the judge, "Aren't you interested in removing the cloud that is hanging over the case right now?" And that's when the judge threatened him and said,
I'd be real careful about what you're pleading at this point in time, what you're stating to the court. I just, as a matter of professional responsibility, remember, we haven't nugged out all of the issues involved in that affidavit, and I would be very careful if I were you.
Even Kodak Black's attorney, Bradford Cohen, gave his thoughts on the situation on Twitter. Bradford Cohen is a big celebrity attorney from Florida who has represented everyone from Drake to DMX. Cohen has ties to Donald Trump and was the one who helped Kodak and Lil Wayne get pardoned in 2021. After Brian Still was arrested, Cohen called out the judge on Twitter and said that the situation was immediate grounds for a mistrial. He also called Brian Still a real one and said that defense attorneys everywhere should be terrified by the judge's actions. Even though a lot of people think it should have already been called a mistrial, the judge kept it going, and Lil Woody is testifying without pleading the fifth anymore. Taking the immunity deal was definitely a good move for Lil Woody because he had already been labeled as a snitch before the trial even kicked off. Back in 2023, a 3-hour-long interrogation with Lil Woody leaked online, and that's when the situation started looking bad for him. According to reports, the interrogation was from 2021. Lil Woody had been picked up on a charge for carrying a gun as a felon and was facing serious time, and that's when he offered to work with the cops and help them take Young Thug down. Lil Woody told the detectives,
The information I had, they want to hear right now.
I mean, we can pass it to
You
them.
say you pass to them, I'll tell you something gonna happen today.
What's gonna happen?
What's gonna happen?
Somebody's supposed to be killed tonight.
the cops asked Lil Woody for more details, and Lil Woody told him that there was a dude that Young Thug wanted dead. Lil Woody even offered to get on the phone with one of his homies while the cops were watching so they could confirm what was about to go down. It was clear that Lil Woody was desperate to get out of the situation and was ready to give up anybody if the cops would let him go. Lil Woody told the cops,
Right now, this nigga here is so smart and he moving different. it's hard to keep up with how he moving.
What do you mean?
So he not moving how he used to move. He moved different, but he want this nigga so bad that he's back reckless.
Lil Woody even said that Young Thug was rich and stupid, and that's why he hated being around him.
He's still stupid. You know what I mean? Like, you rich, why would you be stupid? That's why I get away from him. I get away from him. That's why you never see me post. I just hate being around.
The reason why Lil Woody's new testimony is so important is that he's allegedly the reason the whole war between YSL and YFN kicked off in the first place. A lot of the YSL RICO case is around the beef between YSL and YFN that sparked up back in 2015. And one of the biggest things against Young Thug is the murder of a dude named Big Nut. Big Nut was known all over Atlanta and had ties to YFN Lucci, Rich Homie Quan, and a lot of other people in the game, and his death had a massive impact on the city. Big Nut is one of the people who pushed YFN Lucci into hopping in the booth instead of staying in the streets, and he even linked Lucci up with his manager Fly. Back in the day, everything was cool with YFN and YSL. By the time YFN Lucci started making waves in the industry, Young Thug had already been rapping for a few years and had a buzz on his name. Both of them came up in the Zone 3 area of Atlanta, and fans thought they would link up to put on for the city. But instead, something went down behind the scenes that sparked a deadly war and led to the RICO case Young Thug is wrapped up in right now. Nobody knows how everything really went down yet, but according to the cops, Lil Woody got robbed by some YFN affiliates back in 2015, and that's where it all started. A few days after Lil Woody was allegedly robbed by YFN, YSL allegedly clapped back and killed Big Nut in a drive-by shooting. The Big Nut murder is the biggest thing that the prosecutors are trying to put on Young Thug. According to them, Young Thug rented the car that YSL allegedly used in a drive-by on Big Nut. The murder of Big Nut caused a huge split in the Atlanta rap scene. It's allegedly the reason that Rich Gang ended because Rich Homie Quan stopped rocking with Thug after Big Nut was killed. In a leaked conversation with police, Rich Homie Quan even admitted that there were rumors in Atlanta that Thug and YSL were behind the murder of Big Nut. He told investigators that he didn't see Thug around the city right after it happened because they allegedly went to Miami to lay low. Rich Homie Quan didn't have any proof that Thug was behind Big Nut's death, but he did admit it was a rumor that had been going around Atlanta since it happened, which was the basis for the entire RICO case against YSL. Lil Woody ended up talking about the Big Nut murder, but before that happened, he made headlines when he fired his lawyer right before he was about to testify again.
Before we call in our jury, it has been brought to the court's attention that Mr. Copeland's counsel, Ms. Bumpus, would like to be released. Is that correct, madam? Okay, all right.
The judge asked Lil Woody if he wanted to hire another lawyer or have the state give him one. But Lil Woody decided to move on without a lawyer and told the judge, "I'm good."
Is it your desire to release your counsel at this point in time?
She fired.
You could certainly hire another lawyer, or the court could appoint you a lawyer.
What I need a lawyer for? That's what
No, it's just the court is just asking you whether it's your choice, sir.
I'm good.
The testimony kept going, and that's when Lil Woody told everyone,
I told Clay that, man, I have a personal problem with Young Thug.
2021 was the year that Lil Woody got arrested and offered to help the cops set Young Thug up. In that same year, he told his homie, Marquavius Huey, that he had an issue with Thug. It's not clear what was going down between them, but obviously it was serious enough that Lil Woody didn't want to be around Thug anymore. Before Woody took the stand, rumors were flying that he had already admitted to killing Big Nut. Everyone thought Woody was going to finally air the situation out behind one of the most infamous murders in Atlanta. But that's not how it went down. On the day that Nut died, Woody said people started hitting his phone up and were asking if he's the one who killed Nut. Woody said he was at his girl's house when he got the call, and he had been with her when the shooting went down.
I remember getting a call saying that I killed Nut.
Where were you that day? You remember that day? Were you at your girlfriend's house that morning?
Oh, yeah.
The prosecutor asked Woody straight up if he killed Nut.
Did you kill Nut?
No.
But even if Woody didn't pull the trigger on Nut, pretty much everyone in Atlanta thought he did. Rumors are flying that Woody killed Nut because he wanted to clap back at YFN for robbing him, and the cops thought he was involved too. Woody was brought in for questioning right after Nut died, but the police didn't have any evidence back then to actually book him for it. Nobody knows if Woody is telling the truth about Nutt's murder or not, but even if he didn't kill him, the ops still try to take Woody out over the situation. After Nutt died, someone pulled up on Woody while he was on the highway and started letting off shots at his whip. Woody made it out and didn't get hit, but that wasn't the only time the ops slid on him, and they almost even took out his daughter. One night, Woody was standing outside of his crib with his daughter and girlfriend when a car rolled through and somebody started shooting at all three of them. Woody started busting back though, so the shooter drove off without hitting anyone. Nobody was ever booked for the shooting, but back in 2015, Woody told the cops that his homie Lil Tay was the shooter. They brought Woody in for questioning after the shooting went down, and at first, he told the cops he had no idea who pulled the trigger on him. The cops kept pressing Woody about the situation though, and eventually he told them that Lil Tay was the one who shot at him. But during Young Thug's trial, the prosecutors asked Woody about the shooting, and he told them that he lied to the cops about Lil Tay in 2015. According to Woody, he knew the cops weren't going to let him go unless he gave him a name, so he threw Tay under the bus to get out of there.
Do you recall being hesitant in the February 21st interview, and we're going to get to that interview with Detective Gaither, when she showed you a photographic lineup, and you actually eventually pointed Tay out of a photographic lineup?
Because I know Gate. I mean, I know Gate. I know that. I mean, she one of the people that she got it out for me. So I didn't care. I was just trying to get it off. I get them out for me and trying to convince her. And trying to convince her is very hard to do. So I had to go through with it. Even though in my heart, I knew that he didn't shoot at me, or he would have never shot at me.
Woody said he had no idea who actually shot at him back in 2015, but that he knows Tay would have never tried to take him out. It's not clear if Lil Tay was actually involved or not, but there's a good chance we'll never find out because he was killed just a few days after Woody testified. According to reports, Lil Tay was in his apartment when someone pulled up outside and started shooting into his crib. Tay didn't make out of the situation alive, and after the news broke, Woody hopped on IG to show him love. Nobody knows if Tay's murder has anything to do with the trial or Woody's testimony, but Woody has been putting other people in danger ever since Big Nut died. Even Woody's family got wrapped up in the situation because everyone thought he killed Nut. His sister's house got shot up at one point, and then his girlfriend's mother's house was shot too. Woody said the ops were clearly trying to get back at him, but rumors say that Woody was sliding on them too. At one point, YF and Lucci's mom's house got shot up 2 different times, and a lot of people think Woody was involved with it. During the trial, the prosecutor asked Woody about the situation because he allegedly heard a phone call where Lucci put a $20K bag on whoever shot his mom's house up.
Lucci's mom and dad got shot. Somebody shot up his mama and dad. Somebody's house got shot up. It's $20,000. It's $20,000, man. There's $20,000 on their head, or whatever they said. And you heard that conversation.
I don't recall.
Nobody knows who actually hit up Lucci's mom's house, but the prosecutors are using Young Thug's lyrics against him over the situation. On the track Bad Boy, he raps, "I shot at his mommy, now he no longer mentioned me. You say you want smoke, and I've been coming down the chimney. You gotta barbecue your I'm so fried and they crispy. I had on Margielas when I shot at the act like you want war, and they gon' smoke you like a blunt." Woody said the rumors about him shooting Nut almost got him killed, and the situation got so heated that he thought he was gonna have to kill Young Thug. Woody testified that people were in his ear talking about Young Thug and making Woody paranoid. Woody said that at one point he told his girlfriend,
I text her and told her that I was going to kill Thug when I get a chance.
Obviously, that's not how it went down. But Big Nut's murder was sparking internal beef inside YSL. At the same time, they were going to war with YFN. But Woody isn't the only dude in YSL that Thug allegedly has beef with. And now fans are worried about Gunna too. Everyone was shocked when Gunna took a plea deal to get out of the RICO case. Thug and them have been tight for years, and a lot of people started calling Gunna a rat and a traitor for taking the deal instead of going to trial with Thug. Lil Baby was tight with Gunna and had a lot of music with him, but he started dissing his old homie after Gunna took the deal. Baby allegedly dissed Gunna on an unreleased track and raps, "Taking pleas, I know Slime ain't happy." Lil Baby and Gunna racked up over 1 billion streams with their track Drip Too Hard, but when the track started playing during Lil Baby's show, he told the DJ to turn it off and said, "The rats." Gunna allegedly clapped back on the track Bread and Butter when he raps, "Peepin', I'm seeing fall back. You got me at the topic of the chat. You switched on me when you know you in business with a rat. And the boy that's like your brother, ain't nobody speak on that. Gunna claimed that he wasn't dissing Lil Baby, but that didn't stop Lil Baby from sending more shots on the track Underdog and rapping, "How you switch up on the bros? I can't fuck with those." Act like they won't fold, knowing that they told. A lot of people thought Gunna's career is about to fall off because of the whole situation with Thug, but he proved them all wrong and it's been all over the charts. Gunna said the whole time that he never snitched on Thug or anyone else, and in July 2024, he dropped a new track with Offset and rapped, "Won't trade my team, I can never be a traitor. Like Raiders, we ball, never thought they would raid us." Gunna also said in an interview,
"I'm still signed to YSL. I'm still providing, like, we still pushing, like, no paperwork has been changed."
But Thug might not be feeling the same way. After the interview came out, Young Thug hopped on Twitter and said, "Whatever Wham say goes." Wham is what Young Thug calls Lil Baby, so fans think that Thug is picking Lil Baby's side instead of rocking with Gunna. What makes the situation even more complicated is that Young Thug's dad is still kicking it with Gunna. Thug's dad also said in an interview,
"He need to shut the cause he don't know what's going on. You know, he's going off of what he heard. Ask Lil Baby, have he ever came to a court date?"
Gunna isn't gonna be part of the RICO trial, but he's not the only YSL affiliate who took a deal. And now rumors are flying that Thug's own brother is gonna testify and give the prosecutors a lot of ammo to use against Thug. Thug's brother Unfunk took a plea deal and was sentenced to 12 years with 10 of those on probation. He's been pretty quiet about the trial, but then out of nowhere, Unfunk hopped on IG and asked if he should set the record straight or let the world think what they want to think. It's not clear what Unfunk was trying to say, but a lot of people already think he's a rat because he took a plea deal while his brother is still in prison. Taking a deal doesn't make you a snitch automatically, but some of Thug's homies are taking the case to trial instead of making deals. Khalif Adams, aka Bobby Hunt, is one of Thug's homies who's accused of trying to kill YFN Lucci. Bobby Hunt was offered a deal and turned it down. He's already serving life in prison for a murder back in 2016 though, so getting convicted in the RICO case isn't really going to change a lot for him. Damani Blalik, aka Bally, also turned the plea deal down. But just like Bobby Hunt, he's already serving a life sentence for another murder from 2019. A few other YSL members didn't take a deal, but some of them are still trying to find lawyers. Everyone in the RICO indictment was supposed to be in trial together at first, but the judge put the cases up because everything was taking too long. DJ Vlad talked to 1090 Jacob about the situation, and Vlad said he was surprised that Thug wasn't paying for everyone's lawyers. Vlad said paying for Woody's lawyer might have helped Thug's case, but 1090 Jake said that if Thug got everybody good lawyers, they would only be helping their own cases and probably hurt Thug's chances of winning his own trial. There's been a lot of drama inside the courtroom, but it's nothing compared to what went down in the Fulton County Jail. Shannon Stillwell, aka SB, is wrapped up in the case and was allegedly one of the shooters on a big nut hit. He's also been charged with killing Shymel Drinks back in 2022, but somebody tried to take SB out while he was behind bars. A dude named Willie Brown went to SB's cell to fight him. According to reports, SB had a knife on him, but Brown took the knife from SB and started stabbing him in the shoulders, back, and stomach. Luckily, SB made it out of the situation alive, but if the trial keeps slowing down, it's gonna give the ops more chances to catch him lacking in jail. Lil Woody's testimony could definitely hurt Thug's case, but after all the sketchy moves that the judge has been pulling, there's a good chance that Thug will end up skating on the charges now. When the RICO was announced a couple years ago, most people thought it was over for Thug, but now the case is looking better for him and he might actually end up coming home.